Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're a green card holder living here in the United States, today's video is one you simply cannot afford to miss. I know immigration news can sometimes feel overwhelming, rules change, new requirements pop up, and often you only find out at the last minute. That's why I'm here, to break it all down in plain language, so you know exactly what's going on and what it means for you and your family. Starting October 6th, USCIS is rolling out a change that directly affects green card holders. Now, I'm not here to scare you, but I am here to make sure you're prepared. Many people don't realize how even small adjustments in USCIS policies can create serious risks if you're not paying attention. Things like travel, renewals, naturalization applications, or even certain benefits could suddenly be impacted. And the last thing you want is to be caught off guard because you didn't have the right information at the right time. Here's the good news. By sticking with me through this video, you'll get the clear, step-by-step facts about what this October 6th rule change actually says, who it affects, and most importantly, what you can do about it right now to protect yourself. Think of this as your personal immigration update, explained in a way that's easy to understand and straight to the point. So, whether you've held your green card for years or you just got it recently, this update matters. And I want you to feel confident, not anxious, about your future here in the US. Before we dive into all the details, I have one quick request. If you find this information valuable, please take a second to hit that like button. It really helps the channel reach more people just like you who need these updates. All right, let's get into it. What exactly is happening on October 6th, and how could it affect green card holders? All right, so let's get right into it. October 6th is the date everyone with a green card needs to circle on their calendar, because that's when USCIS is officially rolling out this change. Now, you might be wondering, what kind of change are we really talking about here? Is this something minor that you can ignore? Or is it one of those updates that can end up creating major headaches if you're not prepared? The truth is, it leans much closer to the second option, and that's why I'm putting this video together for you today. USCIS has announced that starting October 6th, they're tightening up their review process for green card holders in a way that might not sound dramatic on the surface, but the ripple effects could be significant. This rule ties directly into how your eligibility is checked when you're applying for something new. Whether that's renewing your permanent resident card, applying for naturalization to become a U.S. citizen, or even requesting certain benefits that are connected to your immigration status. In simple words, they're going to be looking more closely at green card holders, and that means if you've got any gaps, any oversights, or anything that you haven't taken care of properly, this is the time to wake up and get on top of it. Now, let me explain why this matters so much. For years, many green card holders have lived with a kind of quiet comfort. You've got your permanent resident card in your wallet. You know you're legally here. You've built your life in the United States. And you assume that as long as you're not breaking any laws, everything should be fine. And to be fair, most of the time, it is fine. But the way USCIS operates is that rules and standards evolve. Policies get adjusted. And the unfortunate reality is that even if you're following the rules, if you don't know what's changing, you can find yourself in a situation where suddenly your application is delayed, you're asked for additional evidence, or worse, you risk losing something you thought was already secure. One of the big shifts happening with this October 6th rule is the way USCIS is planning to evaluate what they call continued eligibility. That might sound like a bunch of government jargon, but here's what it really means. In plain English, USCIS is saying, just because you have a green card doesn't mean we won't take a second look when you come back to us for something else. They're reserving the right to dig deeper into your history, your records, your travel, and even your financial background when you interact with them again. And that's where the risks start to creep in. Imagine this. Maybe you've traveled a lot outside the United States for work, for family, or just for personal reasons. You've always assumed as long as you come back within 6 months, everything's fine. But now, with these tighter reviews, those trips could be looked at in a different light. Or maybe you've been putting off filing your taxes because you thought, well, I'll get to it eventually. Guess what? Under these updated rules, gaps like that might suddenly matter more than they did before. And I don't say that to make you nervous. I say it because I want you to be prepared. I know how stressful this stuff can feel. You've worked hard to get your green card. You've built a life here, and you don't want to live in fear that it could all slip away over some technicality. And that's exactly why conversations like this one are so important. Because once you understand what's happening, you can take control instead of feeling blindsided. Now, here's another angle of this October 6th update that you should know about. USCIS is also changing the way they look at certain conditional factors. For example, if you're applying for naturalization, they're going to be stricter about whether you've met every single requirement leading up to that application. That means continuous residence, physical presence, and good moral character are going to be under an even brighter spotlight. It used to be that minor hiccups could sometimes be overlooked, but with this new approach, those small issues could suddenly turn into roadblocks. Let me share something I hear a lot from people. They'll say, "But I've had my green card for over 10 years. Doesn't that mean I'm safe?" And I always remind them, yes, your permanent residency is secure as long as you're following the rules. But the moment you interact with USCIS again, whether it's for renewal or naturalization, that's when they open up your file and take another look. And now, with these changes, that second look is going to be a lot sharper. Think of it this way. Imagine you're going through airport security. You've flown dozens of times. You know the routine. You think you're fine. But suddenly, one day, the TSA changes its screening rules. They're checking bags more thoroughly, pulling aside more people for extra screening, and the line is moving slower. You haven't done anything wrong, but your experience is suddenly different. That's exactly what this USCIS rule change is like. The process hasn't disappeared. You can still travel, still apply, still move forward, but you need to be ready for more scrutiny. And here's where I want to pause for just a second, because if you've made it this far into the video, it tells me you care about staying informed and protecting your future. So if this is helping you understand things a little more clearly, please go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps me keep creating videos like this and reaching other green card holders who might not even realize how much this October 6th change could impact them. So thank you for that. It truly means a lot. All right, let's keep going. Another key part of this update is how it could affect timing. USCIS has been under a lot of pressure with backlogs and delays, and this new rule could create even more slowdowns. Because if they're adding extra layers of review, that means more cases are going to get stuck in processing. So, if you've been thinking about applying for naturalization or renewing your green card soon, it might be smarter to get your paperwork in order now rather than waiting until after October 6th when the changes officially kick in. I've also heard from people who worry, does this mean they're targeting green card holders or trying to take away our status? And my honest answer is no. That's not what this is. This isn't about stripping green cards away. It's about USCIS tightening their own internal processes. But the impact can feel heavy because if you're not ready, you're the one stuck dealing with the extra stress. And that's what I want you to avoid. Here's something to remember. Knowledge is power in situations like this. When you know what USCIS is looking for, you can make sure you're prepared. Check your travel history. Make sure your taxes are filed. Double check that your address is up to date with USCIS. These are the kinds of simple things that can save you from major headaches later. I want to stress again, this isn't about scaring you. It's about empowering you. Too often, people only learn about these changes after it's already caused them trouble. Maybe their application gets denied or delayed for months, and then they come to me asking, why didn't anyone warn me? Well, I'm warning you now. October 6th is the day things shift. So let's be smart. Let's get ahead of it. And let's make sure you and your family are protected. And if you're watching this and thinking, wow, I didn't realize how much one rule change could affect me, you're not alone. Most people don't realize it until it's too late. But you're here, you're paying attention, and that puts you ahead of the curve. That's why I want to encourage you to not only like this video, but also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Because the truth is, October 6th is just one change. USCIS updates their policies all the time, and if you want to stay secure, you've got to stay informed. That's exactly what I'm here to help you do. So, to wrap this all up, starting October 6th, Green card holders face a new reality with USCIS. It's not the end of the world, but it is something you need to take seriously. More scrutiny, more reviews, and potentially more delays. But with preparation, awareness, and a little bit of planning, you can get through this without unnecessary stress. Remember, the goal isn't to panic, it's to be proactive. All right, that's a lot of information, but I hope it feels a little clearer now. If it does, let me know by dropping a comment below. Share your thoughts, your questions, or even your personal experiences, because you never know, your story might help someone else who's watching this right now. And don't forget to like this video before you go. It's a small click for you, but it's a big deal for this channel, and it helps me keep bringing you these important updates. So, with all that said, take care of yourselves, stay prepared, and I'll see you in the next video with even more helpful updates for green card holders just like you.